Now, how many days in advance were you working to prepare the Department of Defense to help secure the Capitol on January 6th?
Days in advance, Senator. We were in the Oval Office on an unrelated national security matter with the President of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and myself. And the President authorized up to 20,000 plus National Guardsmen and women to secure any security measures necessary related to the Capitol. So we were moving to the fullest extent of the law before the requisite request came from a local governing authority days ahead of time.
What were you doing on that day?
On that day specifically, responding to preparing to mobilize and deploy the National Guard once we got the lawful request from the local governing authority, which was the mayor of D.C. and the Speaker of the House.
And while you were Chief of Staff at DOD, how many times did DOD approach Capitol Police and ask if they needed National Guard assistance?
I believe those letters are well documented, numerous instances, and numerous of those instances, those requests were shut down.
Now, am I correct that the Capitol Sergeant at Arms said assistance was unnecessary?
That's correct, Senator.
Who did the Sergeant at Arms report to?
The Speaker of the House.
That would have been Nancy Pelosi at the time. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
And would that also be Chuck Schumer, then the Senate Majority Leader?
The Sergeant at Arms, yes, Senator, reports up there.
Did Mayor Bowser, the Democrat elected mayor in D.C., either request or allow National Guard assistance?
She put in writing on the days leading up to January 6th a declination for National Guard additional support. And that letter is available publicly to the world.
So, just to speak English for folks at home, a declination meant she said no, don't send National Guard. Is that right?
If there was an insurrection, you were supposed to be in line marching. You're in the military, you know
right.
this.
No, that's
you were supposed to have a plan.
Exactly. It's called operations order. You sit down overnight with your soldiers. You go over. All right, you're gonna go here. You're gonna go in by this side. At this time, we're going to take over this. There's none of that.
If it was an insurrection, it's the sorriest insurrection in the 20th, 21st century ever. No guns, no land, people taking selfies.
A guy smoking pot.
I love the guy. You're going to be able to laugh about this one day.
What's up, Black Coffee Crew? Welcome back to the only channel that serves up the truth, no chaser, no exceptions. Today, we're not just stirring the pot, we're throwing in a whole bag of dark roast on a scandal that goes right to the heart of our political system. We're revisiting January 6th, but this time, we're not buying the media's convenient narrative. We're looking at Nancy Pelosi, her family, and the web of hypocrisy they've allegedly spun. Now, I know some of you might be rolling your eyes thinking, not this again. But hold up. What if the story we've been told is a carefully crafted lie? What if the very people accusing others of insurrection were actually playing a very different game? Let's start with Nancy Pelosi, the long-standing figurehead of the Democratic Party. She's been the queen of calling out Trump and anyone who dares to disagree with her, but what if her hands aren't as clean as she would like us to believe? The narrative we've been presented is that she was the victim of the January 6th events, but there's a mountain of evidence that indicates something else entirely. The National Guard bloc. The Trump administration, according to sources, authorized up to 20,000 National Guard troops days before January 6th. These offers were reportedly made to the relevant authorities, including the Capitol Police Sergeant at Arms connection. Now, here's where things get interesting. The Sergeant at Arms, who reports directly to Nancy Pelosi, allegedly deemed National Guard assistance unnecessary. If the Sergeant at Arms under Pelosi's authority rejected this help, it begs a very important question. Was there a deliberate move to leave the Capitol vulnerable? D.C. mayor's refusal. The Democratic mayor of Washington, D.C. also declined National Guard assistance. Why would they all turn down support if they believed a violent event was a real possibility? This isn't just about a simple oversight. This looks like a calculated move. Why would they repeatedly decline help if the goal was to protect the Capitol? And why is there such a deafening silence from the Democrats on these issues? Now that these facts are coming to light, now let's talk about Pelosi's daughter. A leaked video surfaced where she seems to dismiss the events of January 6th as something less than an insurrection. She talks about the lack of planning, no guns, people, taking selfies, and even says, I love the guy smoking weed. If even Pelosi's own daughter didn't see it as a serious insurrection, Why are the Democrats pushing that narrative so aggressively? A leaked video. Her comments indicate a stark contradiction to the claims made by her mother and the rest of it. Democratic Party. How is it that they were so quick to denounce the day as an insurrection when her family does not seem to agree? The disconnect. Her comments reveal the disconnect between the public narrative pushed by the Democrats and the apparent private perspective of her family. It makes you wonder if the family believes the rhetoric their mother has been spewing. This makes you wonder if they all consider January 6th a joke in the privacy of their home, but were happy to use it for political gain publicly. This isn't just about a disagreement. It's about a pattern of behavior that raises serious questions about integrity. Here's where the hypocrisy stings the most. The Democrats have been relentlessly attacking Trump, calling him an insurrectionist, using January 6th to paint him as a threat to democracy. Yet it seems there are serious questions about their own actions on that day. The Democrats use this as a pretext to try to keep Trump from running for office using the 14th Amendment. They tried in Colorado but failed. The evidence suggests this was a deliberate plan to use the Constitution to get rid of a political opponent. And that is the textbook definition of hypocrisy, weaponizing the Constitution. The Democrats have attempted to weaponize the 14th Amendment. This is the same thing they have been accusing Trump of doing, the Colorado Gambit. Their attempt to remove Trump from the ballot in Colorado was shot down by the Supreme Court. But there were a series of states that were ready to follow suit. If that attempt had been successful, media silence. As soon as their plan was defeated, the mainstream media stopped talking about it. This lack of coverage is an indication that their plan failed, and there was no longer any point to the media narrative. The Democrats were willing to go to any length and use any excuse to get Trump out of the political picture. This alleged strategy to manipulate the system and subvert democracy makes it clear that the Democrats are not the heroes they proclaim themselves to be. It's not about defending Trump. It's about calling out blatant hypocrisy. The Democrats have spent 4 years playing the victim, but the evidence suggests they may be the real players behind the scene. They are quick to point the finger, but now it seems that they should be looking into their own backyards. They are willing to manipulate the system to get what they want and then cry foul when others play the game with the same level of cynicism. So, what's the takeaway from all this? It's simple. Question everything. Don't let the media or any politician tell you what to think. Dig deeper. Seek the truth. And hold everyone accountable, regardless of their political affiliation. The Democrats are no exception. They have to be held to the same standards as everyone else. And what we are seeing here is a clear case of hypocrisy. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. Until next time, stay critical, stay informed, and as always, stay caffeinated.